Well, don't put me in the quiet place because I want to shout it from the rooftops. John Krasinski is the sexiest man alive.
Just what we all wanted and dreamed of.
So what's the? I thought this was big news. I'm obviously a huge John Krasinski head, and every time I get the People magazine in the mail, and I go, "Who is it this year?" I start not licking my lips, but I start rubbing my hands together, and I say, "Who's it going to be? Is it George Clooney? Is it Brad Pitt? Is it who is the guy that was in Match Point?
Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Is it Jonathan Rhys Meyers? I'm rubbing my hands together, and it's John Krasinski, and I personally. I'm fine with it. Is there uproar?
Yeah, the internet is furious. My immediate reaction was that it's humiliating because the behind the scenes on Sexiest Man Alive, I think it's like devolved over the years where at this point men like of a certain caliber of fame find it embarrassing.
Oh.
So they have to obviously you have to participate. Like it's something that you have to agree to. Like you have a photo shoot for it. And like, I don't think Ryan Gosling's ever been Sexiest Man Alive because he's like, please, like, no.
I see. So some of these sexy men, they get the call. It's like, hey, it's People magazine. And it's like Matt Damon. He's like, shit, no, I don't want to be labeled that. I am too cool for that. It's kind of like that.
So it's like embarrassing knowing that they're like, yeah, that sounds good to me. Like, I actually need that right now. Like, that'll be a nice little boost,
So like Liam Hemsworth, if they're like, you're sexy as hell, People calls him and they're like, you're sexy as hell. Guess what? What if you were 2024? And he goes, I don't think so. It seems a little lame to me. And so now John Krasinski, when he got that phone call, he goes, oh my God, Emily Blunt, get in here. I just got the call of my lifetime. So it makes it kind of like try hard behavior.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't it Blake Shelton last year? Like the bar couldn't be lower.
Oh, to me, I think he's really handsome. I saw that Meredith from The Office said, stop, quit yapping about it. He's definitely really sexy, I think, she said. So I thought that was pretty good. TMZ had that report.
I totally had a big crush on John Krasinski in like 2008 or whatever. He was on the cover of Men's Health. Oh,
let me look that up really quick. I have access to a computer. John Krasinski.
He did like a vintage, I think it might have been for Leatherheads, like a vintage basketball photo shoot. And he was funny. He wasn't fit at all. I mean, not like not fit, but like now he's like ripped, which I think is repulsive personally.
Too ripped. We've talked about this before. He's too buff.
Too hard. And I'm just like, we don't need that from you. Like, who are you? I just don't understand what direction he's trying to take. I mean, I guess he's like a filmmaker now, but he just rubs me the wrong way in 2024.
Really?
And I think the entire internet actually hates him, and that's why I'm so mad.
Why? Oh my God. You always tell me when people hate celebrities that I don't understand about. What happened? I think he just wants to be an A-list guy.
Remember his movie If from the wicked mind of John Krasinski?
I said I can't watch this. I said whatever's brewing up there in his head, I can't see that on film. But so what? Why was that bad?
No, I just thought it was funny that they were from the mind of John Krasinski because I'm what does that mean?
But tell me though, how did it curdle this fanfare?
I think it's just like kind of transparent that he's becoming obsessed with his image. And that's not hot.
I see. So we need a little bit more of that, like you said, Ryan Gosling, like no pictures.
Yeah, like
stop.
I'm just hot secretly.
Yeah,
on my own. Right.
Time. I was thinking,
sorry, I'm being a bitch today, but like,
whoa,
he's getting work done too. That I'm like, you need to chill.
I haven't looked at him in a while. I'm looking at him in this TMZ thing. I don't know if these are up to date the most, but I've found out a lot of people get a lot of more secret work than I would have ever. I used to just not think about that at all and just let people shapeshift their faces in front of me, and I would never comment on it. But now I know it happens way more than I ever thought.
Yeah, and I think it's happening more now than it used to, like historically.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, could you imagine if Dwight Schrute got this magazine, People magazine, in the mail? What do you would think?
They should. Why not?
Dwight Schrute? No. What if Dwight Schrute was at... Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking, what if he, sorry, I was thinking, what if he was at his beet farm and he gets this issue of People magazine? He'd be like, oh my God, Jim.
Serious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was that was good. That was good. Oh, I also wanted to say something more. Speaking of on the wicked mind of John Krasinski, Wicked sent out a bunch of these huge dolls of one of the what are they called? Are they the Wicked Witches of from Oz?
Glinda and Elphaba.
They sent Elphaba toys to Toys R Us or whatever, and then they unfortunately one of the people in charge, one of the huge toy makers, they put www.wicked.com on all of these boxes of Elphaba, and when you click that, it goes to, I don't want to say the word, but it goes to, if I say this, it'll get flagged, but it goes to a site that has adult imagery, and so it's a huge. Did you hear that news?
How are they not? Who didn't do the quality check on that?
I don't know. I don't know. But
the second I saw it, I was like, I assume it's wickedmovie.com. Which
yeah, it totally is. I can't even check it right now, but yeah, it totally is. And it's Mattel who did this.
I don't know what like level that falls on. Like if it was just like on the comp and they were like, whatever, like the website will go here. And then it just like made its way all the way through. But did they have to like recall them?
I think so, because it's just the implication of the kids who want to go to that website immediately once they open up that doll. It's like, we got to get these, full recall. You think
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, is it this true?
I think so. I know that, not to spoil or get ahead, but there is a wicked moment in the new RHONY, and I'm like, I want fucking Kim and Kyle Richards being like, we just got out of the movie Wicked, and like, I love the sisterhood happening in that movie or whatever. And I'm like, not whatever the hell this was.
Yeah, this was more like guerrilla marketing. Like that, Kim and Kyle, when they went in. They were like, let's go see Inside Out or whatever. And they were like, I love the emotions that those characters were having. That's just like how we deal with our emotions on this show. This was more like they tried to blend it in way more, even though I understood it completely, that this perfectly ties in with the Wicked release.
I know. I was like, damn, they have that timeline on lock. Like, how long ago was that? I mean, I guess it makes sense if Rebecca Minkoff had a collection ready to go at that time. But it was pretty underwhelming. But we'll talk about that later. Yeah,
I saw the trailer for Wicked for the first time.
Did you know that that's what it's about?
That it's about the secret history of the Wicked Witch of the West from
She's, I don't know, what do you call that? Like been misrepresented.
That's the minute I heard that, I was like, whoa, I had the Wicked Witch all wrong. Because when you watch Oz, Wizard of Oz, there's no question. I'm like, she's evil, green skin, hates Dorothy. Remember when her witch friend died? Her sister, was it? Yeah. The other bad witch died. Dorothy killed her. Yeah. There's only the good witch left. I was like, there, no questions.
She had those nasty chimps.
Oh my God. Oh, when they get to her castle. What were those things called? Those flying monkeys?
Yeah.
Oh, Frank Oz. Speaking of absolutely twisted. Don't get me started. What's his name? It wasn't Frank Oz. Frank Baum. Frank Oz is somebody else. I said, I watched Wizard of Oz. I said, shut the book. I don't need to know anything more about Wicked Witch. And then this completely upended my notion that she was just purely evil the whole time.
Yeah.
What other movies do that? There's been a lot of those rewriting a villain's origin so that they're secretly not bad. I think they should go the other way, make them even way worse than you ever realized.
I remember I had a book growing up. Oh, what was it called? It was like a retelling of like the Big Bad Wolf, or is the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf, or is the Big Bad Wolf Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, well, I think these are all
the same guy.
No. Yeah, these are all like, I think like German folk tales, and the scariest thing in the world was going out in the woods and seeing wolves. So a lot of those fairy tales have wolves as the antagonist. So there's one that's blowing their house down, and there's also Little Red Riding Hood wolf.
There's one that I had that I remember was like one of my favorite books as a child, and it was like from the point of view of the wolf, like being like, I didn't burn their damn house down or like whatever. And it was about like propaganda kind of. And I remember being like, now I'm thinking a little different,
It blows your mind as a little kid. Like you find out that one of the three little pigs like stole, what would they steal from a wolf? Like his favorite, what I can't think of one material possession. What'd you say? Cheese? Did you say cheese? You find out the little pig, one of those little piggies. I don't know if it was the medium one or the hot one, but they took the cheese from him, and so he's trying to get it back. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you, not in addition to that kind of groundbreaking, huge, earth-shattering news, the Wicked Dolls and this other stuff, I listened to Brittany Cartwright. This is more Bravo-centric, so everybody peek your ears back up, little turtle cuties. But a hot mic with Alex Baskin, this podcast that was behind the paywall. Alex Baskin said, I'm going to say I won't say the F word. He goes, damn it, I don't think this is like reaching the upper echelon of Bravo commentary. Let's release one of these for free. So that's finally
paywalled.
Yeah, I think the Bravo hot mic, they were expecting like $5 a month for that thing. I mean,
ridiculous. It's like to promote their own brand.
Don't get me started. I said I'm not going to pay for this, but I think this one finally they removed the paywall. I'm almost positive, and then I got to listen to the first 50-minute episode with Brittany, and it was great. Alex Baskin was a great interviewer. He obviously knows Brittany really well, and without spoiling anything, she really teed up the Valley season 2 like. It sounds absolutely monumental. I mean, she's obviously wants to tout it because it's beneficial to her, but she said it might be one of the wildest seasons of reality television that anybody has ever seen. And Alex Baskin agreed. But the way they were teasing it, like all the things we're going to see, like some Janet and Kristen shit, the Kristen and Luke proposal, the fallout of Brittany and Jax going to the rehab facility, and she said he still rage texted her almost every day and called her screaming at her, even from rehab. Yeah, she said that he was dating people in the house, and he'd call her, and she'd catch women there at the house that Jax was potentially trying to kiss under her nose. And she was just like, I am so over Jax. This is over. He treated me like absolute shit. I don't even care that I dated his friend for 1 second because he trampled over all of my feelings. When did he ever give a shit about me? So I finally paid him back a little bit. It was like Brittany no holds barred, and she's great. I mean, she was a great guest on it. So
it is like making me feel like they figured out a way to just not make us need Vanderpump Rules anymore.
I know.
Like, we're good.
I know. Like Alex Baskin, whoever just said, we got to get the camera over on the Valley. Like, that was an amazing idea. Seriously, it has a chance to be even more powerful than Vanderpump Rules. If Vanderpump Rules even ever comes back. Now it's like a landing pad for all of that talent. And, you and I both loved season 1. Like, if any Little Turtle Cuties have not watched the Valley season 1, it's almost good from start to finish. Like,
yeah, and I wasn't anticipating liking it. I was like, what the hell is this? Who cares? Like, the preview didn't look good, like, and then, by a few episodes in, I was like, damn, they found some new lunatics. Like, thinking about watching RHONY now and how boring and, like, guarded everyone is, I'm like, Jesse Lally is, like, unhinged. Like, it's perfect.
Oh, he's so great. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of really, it brings back the evidence that strong relationships do make for much more dynamic television than RHONY, which is the worst case example of just putting 6 or 7 people together and trying to forge friendships with each other when it's just not working. Yeah. They did have those organic friendships on the Valley, and it's paying off. It was just basically made me so excited for the Valley season 2. I was like, I cannot wait to watch this shit that's going down.
Yeah, I saw they're like doing their interviews and stuff. Like, it's almost done. I also saw that Brittany is opening her own restaurant. It's going to be the same thing where it's just the little appendage on the side of Rocco's, but it's called Brits the way Jax's is.
Yeah. I was thinking, I saw that too. It's a huge deal. Rocco's said, we have all these extra spaces outside of our bar. Let's donate them to reality television cast members, and let's sort of have the something about her moment over at this West Hollywood Rocco's where people can support Brittany as well. The only thing I was thinking is that Jax's was decorated by Brittany. Now Brittany's going to decorate hers by Brittany. So Jax needs to go into Jax's Studio City and make his dream come to life. Rip down that wallpaper, put up a bunch of race car photos, a bunch of like movie posters of stuff he likes, like, you know what I mean? Deck his out so that Jax now represents his aesthetic, and then Brittany gets to do hers over at Brit's.
Right. Yeah, she has carte blanche to do it as girly as she wants, I guess.
What else would be at Jax's, you think, if he had just his complete imagination to run wild?
Yeah, like a Fight Club poster.
I was thinking that. I was thinking Sex Pistols, like a poster. The Ramones. I was thinking a statue. What's the knight of an armor? A knight's armor that sits in the corner. That sword. He could ask. All that shit that he was gonna sell. That Dorito, that Domino's pizza guy that used to steal your pizza back in the Noid.
Yeah. Probably like a hockey jersey.
He should put the toilet in the middle of the room.
Yeah, because he loves that. I mean, sorry, Brittany, but that place isn't decorated that great in the first place. So, you know.
Well, you know what? She was hedging, or she had sort of Jax countering her, saying, like, don't do this. I don't want a full plant wall. Now we get Brittany's full imagination unfettered at her place, so we get to see. I
can't even imagine how incredible it will be.
Well, but you know, day one, you and I are standing outside, right?
I mean, it's smart. Like, take a bar that is kind of just there and doesn't do too much business and turn it into a place that people have to cross off their list and just have new visitors all the time.
Yes. And they get to play in the, like, team dynamic, you know, like, we're here to support Brittany. I'll definitely be chugging a couple beers at Brit's for sure. And it's more convenient on the Vanderpump Row, you know, like, totally. It's a part of that. Any other, I only had that. There was this Gina Kirschenheiter news, but I don't really think it rises to the occasion of being commented on. She just commented on one of her own Instagram saying, "You're a great mommy. I love you so much. Look how great of a mommy you are." And she said it was her dad that was trying to use her Instagram account secretly. And she thought that, you know, people thought they had busted her using her dad's account to comment on herself.
Yeah, I saw that. She was like, "My dad deletes mean comments from my account for me." And I was like, why do you have your old ass dad doing that? Like, what?
I know. But I thought it was so sweet because I was thinking about, you know, like, I would never want any mean comments to come out on the internet. So, like, I would do that too. And Gina shouldn't get that many mean comments anymore, don't you think?
I guess. Yeah. She's not taking the heat this season. Other people are. Yeah. But speaking of heat, Teddi Mellencamp is like, I had already heard this on, like, I don't know where, like, gossip sites and stuff. But now it seems to be true headline news that Teddi Mellencamp, who is divorcing her husband, it turns out she was having a months-long affair with her married horse trainer.
Wow.
Simon Schroeder. And his wife is pregnant with their second baby, or I don't know the timeline, but his wife was pregnant while he was fucking Teddi.
Oh my God. Were they making love in the horse stable?
This is not a horse's stable. You were naughty.
Everyone knows.
We talk about that on the main episode.
I don't think so, but everyone should remember the nursery rhyme to keep your elbows off the table. Everyone knows that. This is not a horse's stable, but it looks like Teddi and Simon Schroeder were making love in a horse's stable, which is the worst thing you could do. What does that make you? How does that make you feel?
I mean, that's like a bummer. I saw photos, though, I think on, like, Twitter, of Teddi, like, leaving her house with what's his name? Edwin,
yeah.
Where she, like, has her suitcase and he's kissing her goodbye and she looks sad, and it's like the most staged looking shit you've ever seen.
Oh, so what is going on here then? Do you think this is
weird?
Like, I mean, it sounds like, you know, obviously this would be not a plot, but this would be something that happened in the Bravo universe that we would all turn our eyes towards. We'd be thinking about. Teddi is only tangentially related to the Bravo universe now, but it still seems like she's capable of making a huge thing happen. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Maybe they were sort of. She talked about how their marriage was like falling apart for a really long time, and even back on when she was on Beverly Hills, she was like, we never really got into how bad me and Edwin's shit was. Like, he was like wasn't he a security alarm guy?
Yeah, and he let Kyle Richards' house get robbed.
Yeah, it was like the one day the security alarms weren't working, and he got completely busted.
Yeah.
Well,
also, speaking of Beverly Hills, I don't even know what the hell this was. It was like on a podcast. Remember Carlton, the witch or the Wiccan from season 4? She was on a podcast and she said that Kyle Richards is a different breed of vile.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like when you say vile or despicable, like everyone stands up and you say, oh my God, that is so bad. But a different breed of vile I can't even begin to fathom what she must have seen in Kyle's soul. I like Kyle, and I like Kyle more than Carlton, and I don't trust Carlton very much. And I think Carlton blames Kyle a lot for her downfall. Also, Kyle was pretty mean to Carlton. Kyle was really in that way of protecting,
like clutching her pearls a lot.
Yeah, Kyle really always was trying to strong arm people who were new cast members, saying like defensive of her territory. She was pretty bad about that. I feel like Kyle really had a strong shift in her moral compass as the years went on. Yeah, because some of the things she did were pretty indefensible. So maybe Carlton's right.
Yeah, I always wish I had easy access to the screensaver that that Kyle thought that I found it. She remember I brought this up before. Kyle's screensaver changed and she thought that Carlton like haunted her computer because it was on like that like dictionary mode where like words just start coming across the screen and it was like larva, bigot.
Yeah, vile.
Vile, travesty.
Will you point it to our YouTube so people maybe at 22 minutes they can go to YouTube and they can see exactly what you're talking about? I guess people will probably remember. Vile.
Bigot.
Evil. Bigot. I remember having that dictionary that would kind of like, you remember it would come from the bottom of the corner of your computer and it would kind of squiggle its way up and then leave.
I just love that level of paranoia where you're like, my computer is saying like fucked up words. I mean, they were like creepy words, but it wasn't like blood or like kill.
I don't know, larva, after you just had a bad meeting with someone, like and then maggot comes up, you're like, oh my God, how did Carlton get inside my computer? Kyle's really scared and paranoid.
Totally. And like, yeah, she used to be so much more like jumpy and like, I have small children, and like remember she was so scared to fly and she would like hold like the like Bible while she was like flying and she was always just kind of freaking out about everything.
Yeah. She's badass now.
Yeah, she's like, I'm here, I'm queer, ? Don't ask me about that.
Yeah. She's ready to put a leather jacket on and ride on a motorcycle, I think. Right?
Yeah. People keep saying, I guess she said something about like, it's not okay to ask about people's sexuality. And now everyone's trying to like defend Denise and be like, well, you were all about like outing Denise's sex life or whatever. Which I was like, what happened? Like, they were just like, you and your chiropractor husband, like, fuck in the office. Like, what happened? It was like, they had threesomes or something.
Denise and her husband. What was that guy's name?
That scary guy. Erin.
He was so awesome. I need to watch those seasons again. He was the most conspiratorially minded person that's ever been captured on reality television. He was like, I found a crystal that gives me eternal life. He thought that him and Denise were constantly yeah. He thought he was constantly being like followed. He was a targeted individual where people were following him. He was a wild guy. Okay.
Well,
good.
Anyways, we have more to look forward to because Beverly Hills starts next week, and it sounds like there's going to be major beef between Kyle and Dorit. And then we also, are you going to say what I sent you, the summer house thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you say it.
Kyle, Jesse, and West.
The Rat Pack.
Yes, they hosted like a Miami like pool party thing for Loverboy or something. And for some godforsaken reason, Mauricio and PK were there, and they were like jamming behind the DJ booth. And I'm like, what the hell are you two freaks doing here?
They wanted that Rat Pack energy. They were like Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr., I guess. And PK's dance moves, you should have seen. PK was really loving everything that Kyle Cook was playing. I think they just want some of that fun, energy from the Summer House cast
on the town. And I'm like, West is like 29 years old. Like, why are you hanging out with these people?
West is going to be hanging out with Mauricio and PK the next couple seasons of Summer House, I think.
Oh my god.
PK shows up.
House. Yeah.
He would get PK would be like when in Summer House when they kick everybody out from the party. PK would be like falling asleep in the bathtub and he'd come out the next morning. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what they were doing in their bathroom.
Oh, I don't want to say the word, but is it what Lisa Rinna accused them of doing?
Question mark.
Wow. All right, great. Well, good. News, 25 minutes of news. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we talk about one of, I'm going to say it now. I'll make the case for it. The worst episode of RHONY in a long line of horrible episodes.
Yeah, I think there might be like a mutiny online. Like people are pissed. They took it too far because it wasn't that, the episodes before this have been boring and bad, but this one was both boring and offensive in its treatment of the audience. And it's been revealed. We can just say it. That something that was in the trailer, the only thing we were holding out hope for there being a plot this season, has been revealed to be a fraud.
Yes.
And not only, like, it's stupid all around, but I was like, at least if it was going to be a prank or whatever, the audience could be in on the prank. At the very least, where they're like, we're going to set up Brynn for talking so much shit all the time that, like, let's tell her this crazy story. And then you get to watch them, like, fake her out the whole time or whatever. But they made us watch the entire episode from the beginning to the end until the last second that we were supposed to, I guess, believe this bullshit. Mm-hmm. And it's so shitty.
Yeah. It's horrible. And we're going to talk all about it. But before we get to that, like, what do you think about the fact that Bravo purposefully teased a storyline that they knew was a prank from the onset? They knew that this was another horrible, shitty Erin prank. Yeah. And they purposefully teased this out and made it, like you said, the crux of what we were maybe looking forward to as the one gem of this season, one bombshell. Yeah. They knowingly misled us the entire time. Where's Bravo's culpability in this, the promotion of this episode and this storyline? Right.
Well, even like Andy on Watch What Happens was like, because Sai was on, and he said, I'm not a fan of a prank. And, I think he was just talking about like, you could take it on face value and just say like, I don't like pranks, but it read like he was like, I don't approve of this storyline.
Yeah, it was code for I didn't like that. Him saying I don't like pranks. And no one likes pranks. I mean, we've talked about it. No one likes pranks. Jeff Lewis absolutely hated it. He said this is this degrades the audience level of trust on a new show. Nobody's going to believe you all now. He was really he didn't hold back at all. And I do feel like this is I've never heard Andy like admonish a storyline before like that on Watch What Happens Live. I think that this is the end of all pranking or even fake storylines for a while, because that seemed like as negative as Andy has ever talked about anything on this season of RHONY.
Right. I know that he do like a jackhole for like murder mystery parties or something. He put the hammer down for something like that.
Yeah, Great
But
Gatsby. He said he goes, and may this be may Gatsby rest in peace. I never want to see any of those parties again. So yeah, you're right. He gives cues through Watch What Happens Live of what he doesn't want to happen on any franchises. That was a big one too. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just like, and the ratings are like in the absolute toilet. I mean, obviously last week was like the election, so I don't know if they'll go up from there, but it was like a series low, I think. Like really, really bad. So I'm just like, I don't know where to go from here. And it's just like, we were already disheartened, but this just felt like a slap in the face.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, and I guess, we're already talking about it. It's the main thing of the episode. Like, we should just, do you want to just dive into that, and then we'll talk about, like, the stray other random shit that we, thought about?
I also want to read you, because we've been so amazed by the discourse online for even the sanctioned hosts, or, like, commentators. And Danny Pellegrino said, "New RHONY is so bad, it makes me like the other shows on the network less." He said, "I thought last week was the low point, and then this week they served us a great value episode of Impractical Jokers without the laughs."
Oh my God. He said that? Holy shit. After last week we read what he said and he thought that was absolute dog shit. Oh my God. That is like, he's the most he's a huge Bravo commentator and he's calling it dog shit. Yeah. That is wild. Who knows what the fallout would be from this, but you're right. This was a bridge too far for everyone. We already thought it was shitty. Now you're faking stuff and you're teasing fake stuff. You're making us think that there's going to be some silver lining. I to be honest, I kind of thought, I'm not like retroactively saying this. Yeah. I didn't really care at all about this anyway. Right. I knew that there was going to be some stupid caveat to this that was going to make it completely suck. But I didn't know it would just be another stupid Erin prank, a very bad Erin prank. I did not. I held them to higher esteem than that. And I want to say before we lose it, not only do we get an overarching horrible fake storyline that they try to tease out for the entire season to get us to watch. We watch Brynn in real time create a fake storyline that is one and done within the episode. So we have to suffer through Erin doing a high-level, horrible version of this that is a ruse that they spread throughout the season to entice us. But then also we watch Brynn in real time start a rumor that's fake that we see that she created out of nothing that Jenna said. And then we get it resolved where everyone just agrees that they know Brynn faked that in real time and it just ends completely. Yeah. It's like the worst thing I've ever seen. And that's not the worst thing in this episode.
Yeah, that was brutal. Where I'm like, bitch, you're on camera, right? Like we can see what she actually said. Yeah. Like the game of telephone isn't working. Also, so yeah, to the note of you saying that you knew that this was going to be a flop. Last week, I think I was like, well, let's freaking see, because maybe for once there will be literally anything. But I had always assumed, it always was seemingly implied that it was Rebecca, because like who else would it be? But like watching her all season, you're like, well, there's no way that's true. Right. So, and then yesterday, or like the day the episode came out, Erin announced on like People Mag and everywhere else that she's pregnant. So then everyone online thought that the storyline was spoiled and that she was the one that was pregnant. And then she was replying to people's comments being like, not me or whatever. And I'm like, why did she, that has to be, that had to have been why she announced her pregnancy that day, right? Like
to garner or to get attention away from the fact that she might have contributed to the worst storyline in Housewives history. So, and then it's confusing. It's confusing. It's like, how could this happen? Like your actual pregnancy happens to perfectly coincide with when you can reveal that you faked a pregnancy for ratings on RHONY. Yeah, that was shocking to me. I don't even know what to think about that. I kept thinking about Abe selling that Bitcoin. I was like, oh my God, how are you able to repair your relationship after that deceitful act by Abe? But it seems like, I guess, smooth sailing now. So I'll go in order with a couple things because the faking the Erin prank happens at the very end, so it's kind of easy to talk about. But first, there was kind of an easy layup at the beginning where Erin and Rebecca talk about Scientology and being Jewish, and I was like, okay, this is not an interesting show. Everything is boring. Every cast member is bad on camera. There's no good relationships to watch, no real dynamics. It's all complete garbage. But at least I'll hear something interesting about this. This is real life. There are people who have these dueling religions or whatever. And I will say, I think Rebecca Minkoff's answer was perfect. She says, Judaism is my religion. Scientology is applied principles or tools that I use. And I was like, okay, that's a perfect answer. But there was nothing interesting at all about this. It didn't yield anything. Erin didn't ask any follow-up questions. It was just like, Rebecca, great, perfect answer. That's exactly the answer you give, but nothing happened from it. And that's like the one interesting thing that they maybe had to talk about for the entire episode.
Right. But I loved when they were like, what do you say to people that are like, concerned about what Scientology is up to or whatever? And she's like, it's just unfortunate that people have the wrong information and like inadequate data. And I'm like, are we all like on our computers, like crunching numbers about Scientology? I'm like, and then she's like, I would say, go out and check it out for yourself, do research, read a book, go online, watch the official Scientology network available on channel 500 on DirecTV, which I was like, did she just plug the network? Like, what the hell was that?
I mean, in her defense, the network is great. I put it on all the time. It's a bunch of just commercials for how good Scientology is. But yeah, when she said read books or get data, I'm like, I'm sorry, but when you search Scientology, you don't get a lot of positive results, pro-Scientology. What books are there that are, well, besides Dianetics and whatever the second, levels are of that, like, there's not a lot of pro-Scientology literature that we can use to inform us.
I love that because I was like, oh, I've read the book. And then the producer is like, the book that comes to mind when you say read a book is Going Clear. And she goes, don't read that book.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that is the most undeniably like ironclad, well-researched and like bibliographied book you could ever imagine. Like, it's unimpeachable facts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to read the book that exposes everything about the religion that I adhere to and has a very well-researched viewpoint on everything about this thing that I follow. I thought that was interesting, but I couldn't believe what it amounted to. It was just done and over. Then Erin even throws a little bit of a, you could tell she's throwing balls up in the air or whatever the metaphor is, trying to see if she can get some momentum anywhere. She tries to make Stinkgate happen, which is Jessel went to the table in last week's episode and smelled onions and asked if it was Erin. And you could tell that Erin wanted to gauge whether Rebecca would go with her on this. But then that also fizzles out because obviously no one is going to make a big deal of someone saying that someone stinks for more than 1 second.
So boring, not worth anyone's time at all. Side note, I just want to say on the Scientology tip that I am extremely excited for the final Mission Impossible, the final reckoning, though.
Oh, it looks so good. Oh my God, that key that he finds that's going to unlock that AI so he can finally get to the bottom of what the hell is going on. Yeah, it looked amazing. I'm so excited. I will
turn a blind eye to all the human rights crimes in that one case.
Oh, right. You know what would have been this? Tell me if this would have been good. If Rebecca would have said, oh, you're so interested in Scientology, go to the Scientology Center with me that's just 3 blocks away and do the e-reading with me. And then let Erin discover for herself how intuitive, or not intuitive, insightful the e-reading experience is. And then let her make her own case for Scientology there in the room.
That's the field trip I want to see.
See? Would that be good?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, then I had the Wicked promo.
Yeah, we can skip Uba at Jonathan Adler, which I'm like, they must just be very filming friendly because on Old RHONY, they went there like 3 times.
Yeah, Uba is experiencing some pain in her stomach. I hope Uba has resolved that. I hope she's feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
But not a lot to talk about in terms of just
No.
acknowledging that she's, in pain.
Imagine if she did move to Connecticut and the show kept going and they still let her be a housewife. And it was just like she didn't even live in New York anymore.
You mean they made that allowance for Uba? They're
Yeah,
like, we got to keep
it'd be such
Uba
a
in
hot
here.
storyline.
Yeah. So Wicked promo, we learned that Rebecca Minkoff, what's her brand? Is it
Rebecca Minkoff.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have asked that. She's doing a tie-in for Wicked, and they're like building props. I didn't think these were actual movie props. They're like, they're gonna have this shit in stores or sell that witch's hat and that.
It's literally, if I looked on the website, because I was like, all the stuff that looked cool was the props stuff. But on the website, there's 2 purses. There's a pink one and a black one.
Well, Glinda the Good Witch and then Ellie Baba.
Yeah, it's like, wasn't very all encompassing.
Yeah. What I did like about this, the only thing I like is, first of all, I love that London loved Wicked. And I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Sai is bringing her daughter here. I liked that whole thing, even though it's a very clear marketing tie-in. And I also liked that Rebecca got to show off being like powerful and cool and be like a hero to London, because Rebecca is having her story written by these horrible cast members on RHONY. Brynn is talking shit about her, calling her Nordstrom Rack Award like winner of the year. Like they're painting the picture of Rebecca, and I'm like, what? Who are you all to talk? You're so boring. Yeah. Rebecca Minkoff might be a star on a different franchise where everybody else is good. So I like that Rebecca Minkoff got a scene to show herself and show, like, look at me, I'm doing wicked shit, wicked promo stuff. London loves me. Like, I like that she got her point of view out for the world to see, and it wasn't defined by these kind of, you could say, either, jealous cast members or cast members that don't have anything better to do than to make fun of someone else.
Yeah, like that's obviously similar to Jenna Lyons. The most important thing about her is her career. So like showing The Office and all of that is something that you would expect to see. Did you like how the London was like, I have to go to the bathroom now. Goodbye.
No, I didn't notice that. I don't know. I was writing Wicked. She did. She said, I have to go to the bathroom now. Goodbye. And the scene ended.
And then the adults talked about dodgeball. Like they got to have their scene.
Oh, so Rebecca Minkoff was like, which prop do you want? And she goes, I have to go to the bathroom now. Goodbye. Yeah. She probably knew that was the cue. The producers must have said, that's how you leave. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. I don't know why the hell I didn't see that.
And then Sai was like, and look for snacks while you're out there, because you know how she's always hungry.
Oh, right. Oh, I wonder what the crafty spread is like at Rebecca Minkoff Industries.
Yeah, that's a good judge of character.
Did you have crafty where you worked?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah, we're at the production company I worked at too. They had a lot of great stuff.
Okay, so then we get the Erin, Brynn, Jessel lunch or whatever.
Right.
Brynn is like bullshitting about her app, saying she has a staff of like 75 or something, which I don't even believe you.
Can I say something about that? Yeah. Well, so first of all, there's already Riz apps in the App Store. Okay. That already are dating apps called Riz, and they're AI pickup line generators. I saw 2 of them. I don't know if one's the iPad version and one's the iPhone version. There's 2 Riz apps already, and they seem like they do what Brynn is talking about. Pickup, like a dating app or whatever. So she's already going to be sort of late to the market on this, because as of now, I don't think Riz has been fully developed and released yet. So I'm just saying there's already competitors out there for this app that, is questionable to start with.
Yeah. And then there's like a really awkward back and forth, because she said she has a team in London and she's going out there in a couple weeks. And Jessel goes, "You're such a London girl." And Brynn's like, "Yeah, it's so cute that you're the one that has like London in your IG profile, even though I'm the one that goes there more." And Jessel's like, "You should add it to your profile." And then Brynn's like, "I would never do that because I'm not a basic bitch." And she's like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then Jessel's like, "Well, you should, baby." And it's like, it seems like they fucking hate each other and are trying to like joke, but are like offending each other, and it just is so like cringe and horrible.
Yeah, it was awful. I'm like, you're so. I always think Brynn is so mean to Jessel. So it's always shocking to see that. And then, like we already talked about, Brent, you get to watch, like, this is a good example of just what is so wrong with RHONY, a small example. But if anybody watched this who watches other franchises and you just see this scene isolated and then the dodgeball follow-up scene, you'd be like, what the hell is going on this franchise? It's so bad. Yeah. You watch Brynn say, I was talking to Jenna, and Jenna wouldn't definitively say that you weren't a basic bitch. So first of all, it already strains credulity because Jenna has never said anything mean about anyone on this show. So already I was like, I don't believe you that Jenna said this, and no one else should believe Brynn that Jenna said this. Then they show the actual call where Jenna says, I love Jessel. I love her. You'll never get me to say a bad word about her. I will not go with you on that branch. Yeah. And then Brynn goes, so I left out a detail that this is all fake. But don't mind me because I like to stir the pot. And I was like, is this stirring the pot?
Just lying.
I thought stirring the pot was when you take a piece of information that maybe someone shouldn't know that's real and you tell them. This is just faking a storyline in front of us to make a cast member mad and make them get mad at each other.
Yeah, like the actual clip, she wouldn't give a single inch. Like she goes, she's like, the Jessel basic joke is funny because she's not basic at all. And then Brynn goes, but don't you think that someone that's basic is someone that tries a little too hard, like the way Jessel tries a little too hard? And Jenna's like, oh, that's sad. Like, I wouldn't say that. And I'm not going to join you on that branch. I will never give you that Jessel is like, she definitively says like, no, I do not think Jessel is basic, and kind of how dare you for trying to make me say such.
Yeah. And just hangs up on her after that. And then what I didn't like is that Jessel has to live for a day or 2 days. Jessel actually thought Jenna did this. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone believes Brynn anymore. After this season, no one will ever believe Brynn about anything again, the audience or any of the cast members. But Jessel legitimately thinks Jenna did make fun of her on the phone call and calls Jenna two-faced and is like hurt by this thing. And I'm like, I haven't seen this. I don't see this reaction very often where you're watching someone like get hurt intentionally by someone by lying to them about what another cast member said. It feels very different than all these other franchises.
Right. Yeah. And then she tries to make a jab about Jenna's clothes. She's like, she's the one that shops at the Gap. I don't know who the basic one is. And I'm like, going after Jenna's fashions is not the road you wish to take.
No, Jessel. But then, you get hung out to dry, because if in her confessional, if she would have gone nuclear on Jenna, you're like, oh shit, I said a bunch of horrible stuff because I thought you said something bad about me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like anything that then could have been used against her. Thankfully, she didn't go too wild on Jenna with that.
Yes. And then Brynn, for some reason, brings up she brings up her Nordstrom Rack joke again because it must be known that she said this.
I forgot that she said it again.
Yeah, she's like, how was the Nordstrom Rack Awards or something like that? And then Erin is like, you should be nice. Rebecca's a little sensitive right now. And Brynn is like, why? Is she pregnant? And Erin's like, nods yes. Which honestly, watching it back after knowing that it was bullshit, I mean, it's bad acting no matter which way you look at it. Like, I probably thought that the first time too, but watching it while knowing for sure, you're like, oh, this is pathetic.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I believe you. I thought it was very bad. I mean, they're always acting horrible.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, that's why she's not drinking. And wait, it gets crazier. And Brynn is like, who's the dad? And she goes, are you making a joke? It's not a joke. Because Brynn's like, I always say that because I always say dumb shit like that. And she's like, well, it's not confirmed, but I have a mutual friend who said that she had a crazy night out, and her pregnancy is very early on, but she's saying that Rebecca told her that she is pregnant, but that she heard from someone else that it's like a bastard child or whatever. And which I'm like, if we are to believe this storyline for an hour of our time, to think that Erin would reveal a cast member's early pregnancy as gossip is like insane.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true.
Like beyond. Like if that was real, you'd be like, you're horrible.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Yeah, that's true. And it rings, or I don't know, it sounds the alarms in Jessel and Brynn's heads. They go, "We got a 10 out of 10 storyline here. I love it." They're just pigs in shit, basically, learning about this. They absolutely love it. And then it's time, if I remember correctly, it's time for dodgeball, which from a structural standpoint, this episode, there's 20 minutes of the Wicked promo and a bunch of shit, and then 20 minutes of the dodgeball scene. I was like, how the hell are we still in this dodgeball game?
Oh my God, they really let us watch the entire game. I guess it's not really worth talking about, but there was that gay bar scene with Raquel, Mel, Abe, and Erin, which I'm like, it borders on charming that Abe and Mel have this like friendship, but I just don't trust Abe at all.
Me neither.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know about you. And he showed up wearing that dorky ass leather jacket, and I was like, he shouldn't be allowed in this space.
I did. I don't know about that, but I did like how he said, "Get me a leather jacket. I'm gonna dress cool tonight." I did kind of like that.
It
but
had never been worn before. It was like had the tag on.
Yeah, but I do think that scene was good, but it's only in conjunction with the worst scenes we've ever seen that we're kind of looking for any signs of life. That'd be the worst scene you've ever seen in your life on old RHONY. You know what I mean? But it was there was something there.
The lore of Raquel being married to a man and watching the L Word and being like, that's the world I want to be on. Because like she literally just should be on the L Word. Like she looks like she should be on that show, and like she's like I think literally the main character on the show like runs a gallery. Like I totally get why she was like, wait, no, this looks perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I like that too. And then Mel and Abe, we'll just say for posterity, Mel and Abe have a burgeoning friendship where they're kind of, they like talking to each other at all of these gatherings. Although she thought he was Gabe, because I think she mashed Gay and Abe together to make Gabe, and they kind of have a little bit of a laugh about that.
Yes. But yeah, because we can't get there soon enough. The dodgeball, I like literally as the time went on, couldn't believe that they were really just showing us the entire play-by-play.
I couldn't believe it either. It has to be it has to be considered the longest sports-related scene we've ever seen in Housewives history. Half of the episode is here. They all have staggered call times, I noticed, so we see them all one by one, like Sai, and then I don't know who was next, Brynn, and we just watch them all have 5 minutes, and we're watching in real time as they all enter, and they all get their outfits appraised, and remarked upon, right? And then the coach is like, he's got 2 dodgeballs in his hands. He's kind of just throwing them up in the air, waiting, when is this scene gonna start? Because there's just so much filler before they actually get to the dodgeball.
We also, it's revealed that this is the time period when Sai's hot mic on Jeff Lewis got leaked or whatever, where she called Rebecca Minkoff boring, which I'm like, okay, like that doesn't feel like that long ago. But it's fucking wild that Jeff Lewis is on every single show.
Yeah. The secret is have every single reality television star on your show and make them say a bunch of stuff, and then you'll be used. When the episodes air, that could have been interesting. That could have been really interesting if a fourth wall break, Rebecca comes up and she hadn't done a fake prank storyline, and she goes, Sai, I thought that was one of the meanest things I've ever heard, that you called me boring. It's not my fault that I don't fit in and I don't drink, and I'm doing this wicked promo. I've got witches hats up to my ears, and I don't fit in, and you guys are making fun of me about Scientology, and Brynn is horrible to me. I don't feel very at ease with you all. I love Jenna and I love Raquel, but I fucking hate you all. That could have been great. I was like, this is good. But then it gets completely undercut with this red herring, this fake bullshit that Erin spread.
Jeff Lewis felt the need to defend himself on Watch What Happens, where he was like, I just want everyone to know that we told her like 30 times that the mic was hot. Like, it wasn't a gotcha. We didn't like use, she didn't think she had privacy and then it was revealed. He was like, we told you.
Yeah, that's so unprofessional to leave the mics on and air that stuff,
Yeah, he was like, I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to trick my guests or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Brynn brings up the rumor to everyone. Rebecca's not there yet. And she's like, are you guys hearing this? That Rebecca is a freak in the sheets and getting around town and fucking everybody regardless of the consequences.
And Sai goes,
what?
Sai goes, what kind of consequences are those? And Brynn goes, the biggest kind. Pregnancy?
I would have been like, disease?
I thought disease too. Disease from sex? Sai doesn't know what happened the entire time. Once a dodgeball hits her in the head and she goes, wait, Rebecca's pregnant now? And everybody goes, yes, Sai.
Yeah, what did you think?
So this is handled so bad. Okay, also I want to say, so a main point I have is that they also get the layup of the century if this was true, and you watch how horribly they all handle it.
Yeah.
Jessel tells her mom in a scene, instead of Pavitt, she doesn't go to Pavitt, she doesn't have a one-on-one with someone else to spread the news and get that shocked reaction. She tells her mom, and her mom goes, who? Huh?
I know. I was like, how does her mom even know who the hell that is?
Stay out of it. And then Jessel has a one-on-one with Rebecca Minkoff, and Rebecca Minkoff is going, gosh, I got, this hunger that I have. And, I'm a little sick in my stomach. And Jessel goes, oh, okay. And doesn't take the scene for herself to bring the news to Rebecca one-on-one. Right. That would have been a powerful scene.
Yeah.
So then they get to the part where they're just spreading it like so shittily, awfully at this dodgeball. No one knows what the fuck anybody's talking about. It's just, it's handled so poorly once they get to the dodgeball area.
Yes. And then, so I guess it feels like Brynn is part of this, right?
No, I was going to say.
She's like, I used to work with Gavin, and I think I've heard the same thing, that they're like going around doing orgies, and Jessel's like hippie shit or like Scientology shit, and Brynn's like, yup. Like,
yeah, she goes, Scientology orgies that they have.
Or does she just think she has carte blanche now to say whatever the fuck she wants?
So I originally thought, I'm going to give Brynn more credit like you just did. I originally thought Brynn is lying about having sources and said, I called all over town. I went to Spaccia or whatever, it's Casa Cipriani. I went inside. I talked to everybody there, and they know this to be true. But now that she went on a limb saying that, I almost believe more now that Erin whispered to Brynn, because that's like her co-confidant in making a bunch of bullshit, horrible plot lines on the show, and then they wanted to get like Jessel to believe it and spread it or something. I could totally imagine a world where Erin confided in Brynn after and she ran with it, but my first impression was that Brynn is lying because she wants to be a part of it, and we got to see her bullshitting her way through it, pretending like she has the inside scoop on this, and she believes it the entire time. Because the way she's acting makes me think she does believe it. Because there's solo scenes with just her and Rebecca, and I don't think Brynn would be doing that if she was in the know. I don't know, but I'd have to watch that scene again to watch their dynamic. But I believe you more than I do my original opinion that she's in
really
on it.
Laying it on thick. And then everyone tells Jenna, who of course is like, I don't even want to know this. Like, I wish I didn't know this. She goes, marriage and kids are off the table. That is just too sacred. Which, I guess everyone always says that. But in Jenna's case, it's like, we don't even like know who your fiance is, so we know you think that.
Yeah. They need to figure out what's on the table,
right?
Because remember Jacqueline in Potomac, she was like, the father of my kids is off the table. It's like, no, it's not. That's 90% of what we talk about.
Your husband or whatever. So then Rebecca arrives and she's immediately playing into it. She's like, I feel nauseous today.
She goes, did anybody else have a sickness that is happens in the morning?
Yeah. And Brynn's like, that only happens to me when I'm hungover. And then she's like, well, I haven't been hungover in forever. And she's like, I got a baby on my tit. And then Brynn is like, are you sure that's the only person you have on your tit? Which, like, she would always say anyways.
But why would she be having this? Like, there's no one around them now, if I remember correctly. So why would she be having a fake conversation with Rebecca when they both are in the know about this? Unless Brynn wants to... Brynn is pulling a prank on Rebecca by being like, Erin told me, so I'm going to see how well you are at acting. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense if Brynn actually knows and she's having this weird, not so subtle conversation with her about being pregnant and cheating.
Right. So yeah, then she's like, yeah, maybe I have one or two other guys on my tit. And then Uba shows up. She's not even going to play, which I'm like, okay, fine. Like, you don't even need to be here. Like, whatever.
Brynn was like, I was going to make fun of your outfit, but you look great.
Yeah. Also, side note that Jessel wore like ass pads and like gloves and like really took it to the next level. I liked everybody's outfits. Everybody was being horrible about them. Like, they were like, I want to talk shit so bad. Yeah.
I wanted to say you dressed like absolute shit. But I liked everyone's. I liked Jessel's. I liked Jenna's. Everyone looked... I mean, there was no need for commentary.
They had fun with it, except Brynn wore a T-shirt that said, I think it said, "Move, I'm gay."
I think
or
it said,
something
"Move."
Like that.
Yeah, move over, I'm gay.
And I'm like, you're not gay. Why do you?
I think it said, "Honk honk, I'm gay."
I'm like, why does she get away with this?
I have no clue. Brynn is an anomaly that we'll study for years of what doesn't work as a cast member.
She's probably so pissed off that she didn't get to do a scene at the lesbian bar. Like, she would have died to be there.
Then Tim goes, I'm sorry, I only have the court for another an hour. Can we please play dodgeball? I've been sitting here for so long. Then they do one of the worst editing decisions I've ever seen in my life, the sports montage.
Yeah.
It was like so much worse than the Clueless shit they did. I was like delete this immediately. Don't even put this on Peacock. That was such a bad editing decision.
Yeah, I would have been embarrassed if I participated in that. Also, Sai fills in Uba about the gossip that has been happening and for some reason decides to phrase it, she's like, yeah, so apparently Rebecca and her husband like fuck other people and like guys come in her.
That's what Sai said that?
Yes.
I didn't hear her say that.
Uba does like a phony gag, like a ugh.
You mean the stuff that happens in sex? Wow. I didn't hear her phrase it that way. Wow, Sai was loving telling. Sai wanted to tell that information to Uba immediately. Yeah. Then they have this there's now more credence to Brynn being in on it. So I was like, why is Brynn tossing the dodgeballs as hard as she can at Rebecca's stomach? Right. She's like going, you can watch Brynn. She's winding up. She's got laser eyes dedicated right to Rebecca's stomach. And she's just like trying to throw everything she can at there. I was like, I guess the only reason for that now would be that she doesn't believe that she's pregnant.
Yeah, she has no mercy. She also like nails Jenna in the face and her glasses get knocked off. And I think she might have cried.
Oh, it was so sad. Brynn goes, if there's any place that Jenna doesn't want to get hit, it's in her face.
She was like, what else does she have? I was like, what does that mean?
So, Brynn decides to go full-blown dodgeball on everybody, hitting them in the head, the stomach. And what I thought was so ridiculous is that they actually do try to get into this dodgeball scene when you possibly have this huge bombshell that they're all reckoning with. Like, why didn't anybody say, let's take a second and go to a bar and talk about the fucking biggest shit that's ever happened in the history of this show now? No, let's play dodgeball
for 8 minutes, uninterrupted.
we get the score. We get an out. We get a catch that Brynn does. We get Jenna going out, everything, a play-by-play of this dodgeball game.
Yeah, we also get Jessel confronts Jenna about what Brynn said. Right. And Jenna's like, I literally didn't answer that question. I did not participate.
And Jessica goes, to be honest, I didn't believe Brynn that much. She kind of lies all the time. And Jenna in her confessional goes, yeah, Brynn really just lies. I don't really know what to do about this. This sucks, but what can we do?
I also they force Jenna to have an opinion on Jessel's fashions, and you can tell that she like really doesn't fuck with what Jessel wears, and she's like, I think she's adorable. I'm all about it. Like you can tell she's just like, what do you want me to say?
I think it's more that. Don't make me on the spot talk about your style and how it coincides perfectly with your independent spirit. You know what I mean? It's just like, why are you making this a thing? I mean, I get that she probably was trying to figure out how to compliment the style, but also it's just like, why am I being put, in this position to have to comment on everybody's style right now? I feel like she was more mad at Brynn, for doing that.
And then we get Rebecca's playing it up still. She's acting tired. Everyone's like, are you okay? And then Jenna, after they're done playing, goes to Rebecca and is like, just so you know, I don't want to get into it right now. I don't want to tell you exactly what, but everyone is talking about you. There's like a certain rumor, and she's like, you have to tell me. And she's like, I'm not telling you. And she's like, point with your eyes, like, who's saying this or whatever. And she, I guess, like, blinks over to Erin, and Rebecca tries to win her Oscar and is like, you fucking told her?
Yeah. And Erin goes, what? No, I didn't.
And then she chases after her, and I think Erin goes, that was good. And that's like the hint we get.
And then it ends with them both smiling and, with a devious expression, just knowing that they pulled off the prank of the century. On the cast and on the audience, and that was teased to us the entire season as if it was going to be some big bombshell, and it turned out that it was entirely fake.
I don't know if I was talking to someone today that I was like, did you watch RHONY? And I was like, I can't believe that fake ass bullshit. And he was like, oh, was it fake? Like, I think some people might need clarity beyond that little hint about what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I mean, when they say that, no, I totally understand, because they leave it for the last second. It's like the last second to be continued. If you blink, you don't see it's a prank. But knowing this cast and knowing Erin and knowing that the Sign news came out that she was boring, so they wanted to make her have some dynamic scene or whatever. It's all points to Erin and Rebecca conspiring to have this fake plotline. And yeah, you're right. We started this conversation by saying this was too much for everyone. All of the defenders of RHONY. I'd be excited. We've already spotlighted Queens of Bravo, so I don't mind saying it. I wonder what the reaction was to this. Prank! The best prank in Bravo history.
I think even they said something kind of judgmental. Like, they posted that Andy said that he hates pranks. And they posted, like, it really must be bad. It's Andy, I'm not a fan of a prank. If Andy is saying this about the way RHONY ended tonight, it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, oh, this was a choice, and it was a wrong one.
Whoa.
And then she said, you're on your own, RHONY. Even we can't defend that, LOL.
Whoa. So there was a huge response to this. Wow, a bridge too far for the biggest RHONY defender in the universe. Wow, part of me is like, now I want to be a contrarian and be like, this shit was always garbage. It's been bad for 2 seasons. This isn't the thing that turned it sour. This is the one.
It is like final straw material.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I would argue the Clueless episode was just as bad. But what makes this the worst is the decision that Erin made to fool us all, and then Bravo is complicit in it, for advertising that. But
yeah, that was totally like producer sanctioned.
But what else are they gonna do? What else are they gonna do? Are they gonna include Jessel going on? It stinks over here. Oh, it was an onion. Like, they can't include that in the trailer.
Should have in the intro, instead of holding an apple just for one episode, they could be holding onions.
I would say this is a season that is totally getting into gear now. They're holding onions based off that stinky Jessel joke.
Real Housewives of Holes.
Oh, because oh my God, because in Holes, why do they wear onions again?
They eat onions, right?
Oh.
Like, that's how they survive in the desert or something.
Oh,
is it onions?
Yeah. Kissing Kate from Holes, right? She eats onions And then they're good. Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. I'm gonna probably brush up on that for next week's episode, but I love that reference. Wow, there's no franchises that hold onions, right?
Yeah, it's like Real Housewives of French Onion.
Great. Well, that was, that's the definitive recap of that episode of RHONY. I think we hit every minute of it, right?
Gave it way more than it deserved.
Yeah.
And Potomac, it was a totally enjoyable episode. Nothing too crazy, but like dependable.
Yes, dependable, easy. What's it called when you're watching something and you got the autopilot on and you're just letting it rip? I was having fun. It's funny. The cast is great. I continue to absolutely love Jazzy, Stacy, Jacqueline, and Kay. I think they're all amazing additions to this cast. That's unprecedented. To have 4 friend of / new cast members that are all great in their own way. And this was a great way to showcase all of them and their strengths on this Lake Norman trip. There's a couple things I want to highlight, and then you tell me any thoughts you have. I thought it was really funny when Mia took them to that lonely, desolate joint chiropractic location for no reason. She doesn't even currently own it anymore. Right. It's also, there's tumbleweeds rolling in it. Giselle goes twice. She goes, in the van, she goes, "Why are we going here?" And then Mia goes, "Because I want to tell you my story." And then when they're in there, no one is getting worked on. Like, you only hear one guy's bones getting cracked. And then Giselle goes, "So when are the busy hours? Weekends?"
Yeah, that was insane. I was like, literally, what the hell? And then Dr. McDaddy wasn't even there.
Yeah, Dr. McDaddy was not there. And Wendy goes, "I am so sorry, but this is not birthday material. Why the hell did you take me to a chiropractic office that you don't even own on my birthday?"
Right. Yeah. Also, so the episode starts out with like a bit of a bombshell that people, I think, just feel so uncomfortable participating in that it just is never mentioned again, because they're like, "Nice try, Karen. Fuck that." She goes, so it's same as last week. It picks up and Karen's like, "I don't need rehab. I'm all about people getting help if they need it." For instance, Mia has been to rehab herself, and she started the joint because she had an opioid addiction. And I was like, what does that mean?
And then I think Kay gets up and goes, "Well, Karen, what the hell are you doing?" Like, she doesn't want anything to do with it.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. That was really bad. I also liked how it started, where it was, the last episode was like, "Karen, should I be worried about you?" And then this episode literally opens with Karen going, "No." You know what I mean? It picks up right with the answer to Stacy's question.
And I love that she just like provided no context whatsoever. Like, did she mean that like Mia needed a chiropractor because she had physical pain that she was using opiates for? Or was it that like she needed to turn her life around because she had an addiction? Like, what did she mean?
Why does one, after battling an opioid addiction, why is the logical next step to open a chiropractic practice? I would have to ask Karen that, or get some follow-up. But like you, I said, "I don't want anything to do with this. I think you're just doing tit for tat." And great revelation to give us to Mia to counter the accusations against you. But like with everyone, anytime they make an accusation against someone else, they'll just throw your horrible past. You know what I mean? There's no clean slate here. So you're right. That kind of just completely fizzles out. No one wants to deal with that storyline at all from Karen.
Yes. And then we also get a tease of Jazzy's NFL boyfriend. There's a whole like sort of it's not the same, but sort of almost like Phaedra false pregnancy timeline where the math isn't mathing, and she's saying that they've been together 2 years, but he has a baby that's 1, and she's like, the baby was conceived before we got serious, and she's obviously just like leaving out information, and everyone's not gonna let it slide, it seems.
Yeah, everyone's like parsing the language. There's like they're like Jazzy's like, "He's a great father to 2 boys, both there or already created before me, People are like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Basically, the implication that the truth is most likely is that he cheated on her early in their relationship with someone that he already had a child with, and they had another child during his relationship timeline with Jazzy.
Yeah, or she was the other woman when he was still with his ex or whatever.
Yeah.
I also, this is picking at, I don't know, being nitpicky, but I thought that someone was going to make a joke about how shitty Wendy's flowers were, and no one did.
Oh, remind me, paint a picture.
They were just like really small. And I'm like, if you're going to go through the effort to send flowers that will be seen on TV, you don't have to go as far as Scott's funeral arrangement for Tinsley in Cartagena. But it was like the smallest arrangement you could possibly buy on like proflowers.com. Like it was probably like $35.
Do you think their dog Zoe picked them out and they just went with whatever the dog clicked on the computer?
So. But I thought someone was going to make a bitchy comment and then they didn't. So I just had to say that.
I'm glad you noticed that. I also want to spotlight this. You and I, or maybe just me, I absolutely abhor sex questions.
Yeah.
I think it's, the dregs of content for all of these different franchises. But this was probably the best case scenario for a fuck, marry, kill that I've ever seen in my life. I shouldn't say the name of that game too many times for YouTube. I'll say make love, marry, kill. But I thought that...
like that.
Yeah, but I thought that it was so the best case version of that. It was so fun on that bus. Like they dedicated like 6 minutes to all of their answers. Like Ashley and Stacey wanted to make love to each other. Yeah. Absolutely everyone wanted to kill Jacqueline. She got like 4 kills.
Everyone hates her ass.
Yeah, and then Jacqueline admitted, she goes, I'm going to make love to Ashley because I already made love with Mia. And everybody's like, whoa, is that a revelation that you and Mia made love? Like, you know what I mean?
Like that had been implied before, but she just went ahead and said it. And then Mia's like, I'll have sex with each and every one of you.
Yeah, that was really sweet. I want to spotlight Stacey. I don't want her to not get any credit because the more I see of her, the more I'm like, this is a great casting decision. I thought she was so fun this episode. I liked her dancing that everybody was making fun of at the pool. I liked all of her confessionals, and I liked when she got into it with like she was the one who prompted the Jazzy conversation. She was good in the make love marry kill game. Like I don't know, I just think Stacey is killing it.
Totally. And then we got to see, because Giselle was interrogating her about TJ. So then they like pull up his IMDb. And I know you sent me, he's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I remember that scene.
Yeah, I love it. I had to go to his IMDb immediately because I was like, "What's the status of this acting career?" It's a good career. It's like they said. It's mostly one episode arcs on a lot of different television shows, but I mean, consistent work since the very beginning. And he's in a very notable Curb Your Enthusiasm scene. Larry David mistakenly thinks that he's a valet person, and he gets really pissed off and curses at Larry. It's an amazing scene, and TJ does so good in it. So he's a part of the Curb Your Enthusiasm canon. I think that's pretty incredible. And
I love that Stacey, when they're interrogating her about them not having sex, she's like, we can channel our energy other ways, like working out or going to the zoo.
Yeah. You got, when you get really horny and you go to the zoo.
Yes. Oh, I also wanted to shout out really quickly that when they went to lunch, Karen wasn't drinking. And I forget who it was that was like proud. Was it Giselle or Ashley? I don't remember. But they were like proud of her for still not drinking. And we've seen this before. And they show in 2020 Karen drinking milk at dinner because she's like, I need to coat my tummy because I've had an ulcer. And I'm like, we need a montage of Bravo celebrities drinking milk because we just had a old Vanderpump episode where Brittany Cartwright was drinking milk for pleasure.
Yeah, subscribe to Patreon this month to get this episode that's coming out on Monday. But there's an amazing scene where Brittany, before a photo shoot at SUR in the 5th season, she just drinks a huge glass of milk. And Jackson were talking about
model trick. You chug a glass of 2% before you get your photo taken.
Yeah. For a photo to go your way, drink whole milk. Sorry, I was trying to think of an adage.
Will stay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. I want to also spotlight Ashley Darby's hit single that is coming out. It's called Healing and Thriving. I loved this because it was just her and Giselle sitting poolside, and Ashley goes, "Do you remember that Healing and Thriving song that I was working on?" And Giselle was like, yes. And Ashley goes, "Well, we added an EDM beat to it, and you got to hear this thing." And I actually thought it sounded awesome. And then I did my due diligence. I went to the computer and I said, Ashley Darby, Healing and Thriving. Obviously, it's been 6 months. This has to be out. And it's not out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I thought that all housewives, when you build a product and you advertise it, you have to have it out in the 6 months so that it's releasing at the same time. Remember Drew Sidora, her single was ready to be out in the world when she premiered it at the reunion.
Interesting. I liked the whole Giselle bit where she kept pitching fun musical concepts. That was a fun little confessional.
Yeah, but that song actually did sound good. I'm proud of Ashley Darby. Release it immediately for us.
Yeah. I always forget about her little music career. Then we get everyone saying nice stuff to Wendy. And then, of course, Jacqueline, because I don't know what she's trying to do, but everyone says something really nice to Wendy. And then she goes, "When I first met you, you were like, 'Who are you?' And you're a lot warmer now. And guess what? I'm here to stay."
Yeah, I like that. And everyone kind of groans at Jacqueline. Like, I like Jacqueline's energy because it's different, because everybody else, like, she's kind of the flop one of them, but she's still entertaining to watch. And I also like when Jacqueline, they're all getting up or whatever, and they all just had good camaraderie and they were laughing. And then Jacqueline goes, "I think we all need to take a shower because we've all been dirty this week." And everybody gets completely silent and they go, "Ooh, God." And then they just get up.
Yeah, they're like, "Okay, you're killing the vibe." Absolutely not. But the main thing at dinner was everyone going tit for tat about the birth timeline of Jazzy's boyfriend or whatever. And then Kay is like, "I also dated someone in the league who had 2 women pregnant at the same time." And then Mia's like, "Wait, what team? Because that also happened to me." And she's like, "Leave me alone, not going to say it." And she's like, "The Ravens?" And everyone's like, "No, shut up."
Yeah. I was like, wow. So are they, like, could they possibly be entwined in this?
I mean, what the hell is going on over there? Like, that's a lot of drama.
Kay was like, they were twins. And I was like, what? And then she meant, oh no, they just were pregnant at the same time, like pregnancy twins.
Right. I was like, I need more explanation.
Yeah.
The next morning, like, it's like 6 hours later because they all stayed up super late. Wendy feels like shit, but Stacy is super chipper because she's used to like working on the news or whatever and having
QVC.
Early calls.
Yeah.
So she's like, cool as a cucumber, just like, "How's everyone doing?" And they're all like, Ashley's like throwing her clothes in her bag. She's like, "Kill me."
Yeah, and Wendy is so hungover. I love that too. I love Stacey checks in on everyone individually and like wishes them a good morning, and they're all just completely hungover from the night before. That was wonderful Stacey energy too. And then the episode ends, and I have to say it was great. Another great episode, and the Lake Norman trip is now over, but it was fun, that trip.
Yes, and it looks like next week the girls meet TJ. They talk about Karen going to court imminently, and then Gordon and Ink have a showdown in which Gordon, the clip they show is he's like, "Mia had to get an abortion because of you," and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then Gordon also says, "And you think, that's your son?" And Ink says, "I already told you I think it is." I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's like down and dirty shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about, I don't know how you feel about this, but what if you and I separately took certified turtle piss breaks and then came back and talked about this week's episode of Salt Lake City?
Hell yeah. I'm hearing it's good. So hopefully that's true.
Can I ask, where did you hear?
I don't know, Twitter or something.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, good. All right. Well, let's take a certified turtle piss break, and Amy and I will be right back.
Woohoo.
Well, I don't carry Coach, and I sure as hell don't fly Coach.
You don't like Coach bags?
Oh, no. What am I saying? No, I love Coach bags. I love Coach
They've had
clothing.
a reinvention.
I love Coach clothing. I have a shirt that says Coach on it, and I fly Coach every single time I fly. I'm the opposite of Lisa. I always sit in the back of the plane. I'm always by the toilet.
They did a poll on Watch What Happens, and Andy was like, yeah, I would probably text my assistant about that if it were me.
Really?
Which I'm like, I mean, I guess Bronwyn made sure she was in first class, but I'm like, yeah, any flight that's under an hour, the plane is such shit that you're not getting any amenities anyways.
Right. Oh, right. Like they can barely even bring out champagne or
No, it's
towel.
like, and it's like you don't have more space. Like maybe you have a little bit more space, but it's like worst case scenario or like easiest to accept
Yeah.
coach.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but one time I had to sit in the toilet on a flight. I've never flown first class even. Have you?
It's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When? Do you mind if I ask?
I've done it a few times. I'm a real Delta head, so
Okay.
I get a lot of. I'm currently platinum medallion, so you get free, like a number of free upgrades a year that you can deploy, like add, like upgrade your flight for free as a member. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for domestic flights, it's nice, but it really is. If I want to put on my bougie hat, it really is mostly only necessary for long flights where you wish to sleep.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, for me, any of it sounds amazing. I'm always one of those guys that like when they draw the curtain or whatever. I'm always the one who peeks up to
They're like,
see what
get
it's
back,
like.
get back.
Yeah, like the Titanic. Yeah. Like Jack Dawson when he's trying to get up.
Yeah.
Is that his name? When he's trying to get up the stairs or whatever, and they're like, get back down there.
Sicko.
You got to hang with Louise. Or what's that guy's name? His best friend?
Oh yeah, like Luigi
Fabrizio.
or whatever.
Fabrizio. But the other how the other half lives. I think it's more about the principle,
Yeah.
well, whatever. We'll get into it, but I think it's more like she's never done it before, and she can't imagine what it's like with like the gremlins back there,
Sure. Yeah, I think it's eye roll because, like I said, it's really negligible on a plane that small. It's so dumb, but
Yeah. So how did you feel? I thought this was rip roaring and fun, and I was
Yeah.
laughing. I was just like, I mean, almost every minute of it. I didn't care about the race car shit, and I didn't
Yeah.
need another Top Gun edit. We're a little too far removed from
Yeah.
Maverick.
I didn't think it needed to be supersized, honestly. Like I felt like they could have trimmed some fat and made it a normal size episode. But maybe that's just because I had to watch it right now.
Right. I didn't even know it was supersized. I thought I was
Okay.
just taking a really long time watching it. Yeah, if you take out race car driving and that Top Gun Maverick scene, you go back to 42 minutes.
Right.
The race car driving, I loved that Bronwyn wanted to like show off and show that they knew that Joseph driver or whatever, but they couldn't even have a conversation because the raceway was so loud.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the where it picked up from last week, it was like John and Lisa, nothing really came of it except Lisa was saying that she feels like he's like, it's weird that you and Bronwyn aren't getting along, and she's like, it's because Whitney's stirring up shit. So you almost immediately get the vibe that it's gonna get worked out,
Yes. Yeah, we don't really even get the threat of it again. It kind of is like Todd was grumpy as hell, but he's not going to follow through on that threat. He just wanted them to shape up a little bit. It's kind of over. But Todd, overall, throughout this episode, he's kind of like a ticking time bomb.
Did you watch the mid-season trailer?
Yes.
They showed it after, and it's going to be the next takedown storyline that everyone's like, Todd's a real dick.
Yeah, he is much grumpier and meaner than he led me to believe the first few episodes. They really edited out most of his grumpy behavior, but he is grumpy as hell this whole episode. You see him with his arms folded. He's trying to take a nap at the race car driving race, and no one will let him sleep. And then they say that Heather, I love that clip. She goes, I think the Todd father is actually really mean. And Bronwyn lets a little facts fly about her marriage. She calls it miserable, and it's like, whoa, this facade, there's something wrong here. This isn't just all Starbucks mugs and a beautiful home with dogs.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. He puts Tom Girardi to shame. He's even 10 times grouchier.
Yeah. Tom Girardi, that one scene, like, he was just so tired, and I think he hadn't had coffee or whatever, and he was
like, shut your trap, I'm trying to talk about Matlock.
Yeah, it was totally Matlock. Well, I remember he was trying to talk about the Erin Brockovich case a little bit, right? He was like, Erin didn't even do that much stuff.
Yeah, he said, he was like, yeah, back in my day, I would watch Perry Mason, and I wanted to be a lawyer. And I'm like, you're so fucking old.
Yeah. He'd be like, stop it, Erica. But he only said that once. And then after that, he was sort of really just fun and free-spirited.
Crashed into an embankment and whatever that paragraph is. I need to memorize that the way you memorize like poetry.
Yes, me too. So you're right. They pick back up. She blames Whitney, and then they have this very awkward lunch. I knew Bronwyn was probably so uncomfortable that she had set the stage for such an uncomfortable meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no talking, not fun. No one wants to make Todd wake up, because they're afraid that anything he says, he's going to start screaming at them.
Yeah. And like, I would say generally throughout, it's almost not even worth trying to explain what conversation happens between Lisa and Bronwyn, because it's like just never resolved. And it's just that like Bronwyn is like, you're taking Heather's side, and Lisa's like, Heather's feelings are valid and it's not for me to decide. And so it's just like the same bullshit again and again. That's like, I don't really care.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll skimp on that storyline. I did like the revelation at the end where we'll skip over it when we get to it. But Bronwyn says, "I'm just going to ask you straight up, like, am I two-faced? Have you ever experienced me as a two-faced person?" And Lisa goes, "Have I ever experienced you as two-faced? Let me think." And then Bronwyn goes, "Oh my God, that's all I needed to hear. The fact that you couldn't just say that." And Lisa's like, "The reason why I'm hemming and hawing about that shit is because I do think Bronwyn is two-faced sometimes. So I'm like, okay, that is what's going on here.
Right.
Bronwyn is upset that Lisa defers to Heather more in this instance and actually is allowing that character representation of Bronwyn to infiltrate. I was like, that's a new facet of that, because I don't think Lisa ever admitted that before. So I liked that new thing there.
For sure. And then she's saying something like, Lisa says, it's a different case when people lie about me, which is obviously about Whitney. And then Whitney's like, I'm not lying about you, and you charged after my husband, and I felt so scared in that moment. And then Lisa's like, your husband was like throwing the F-bomb at me, being like, F, 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 F. And Justin's like, I didn't F you.
Yeah, I never said F, F, F. Whitney goes, you incited a riot within my husband. Right?
Yeah, and then Todd's like, I'm fucking out of here. I hate you guys. I told you.
Yeah, Todd gets his head. You can see the steam is rising up to his ears. The steam comes out. He gets so pissed. He says, I'm going to go take a nap, because his sleep was disturbed or whatever. So he immediately has to go to sleep, right?
He's like, and then, no, stay. And then Lisa has a little zinger that I wonder if she thought of this earlier. She goes, more proof comes out of my tequila than you have about Alibaba.
I thought, yes, I'll say, I thought Lisa woke up that morning and wrote that down and said, that's going to be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Then John, if I remember, he kind of speaks up and he goes, hey, enough. He goes, Todd just had to go to bed. I'll nip this thing in the bud. He goes, Whitney, just say, do you think what did he make Whitney say? Whitney, did you do it?
It was like,
Whitney, do you think Lisa lied? Or no. Whitney, just ask Lisa straight up. Sorry, just ask Lisa straight up. Did you lie? And Whitney goes, did you? Or were you the one who told the Alibaba scam of a lifetime?
Yeah.
Lisa goes, no, I did not. And he goes, John goes, well, then that's over. It's done.
Yeah.
He tries to nip this thing in the bud like that.
Yeah, and then Bronwyn's like, I guess all we needed was a man to step in and fix our womanly problems. Like, never thought of that before, and it's all done. And then it cuts to a, like, next time on, and then it's like the ladies, like, cheersing in the hot tub because the episode is over because it's been solved, which I was like, that's fun.
Yeah, I got, I'll just say it, I'm embarrassed, but I got fooled. And I started rewinding and saying, how are we at the end of the episode? That's why I took a little longer to get back to you. I go, what the hell happened? So it worked on me.
Very subtle.
Yes.
And then John is like, Lisa has never lied about you people. And then Sean is like, well, Angie, she called you a fucking bitch. And he's like, that was borderline abusive. And I'm like, why do we have to bring that up here? Like, this is not the open forum.
Yeah, yes, true. I agree. Sean, why'd you do that? But I did like hearing that Sean said, I've heard some of those conversations between you and Angie, and they curdle my blood.
Yeah.
The way you talk to Angie behind my back, and no one deserves to be talked like that. And then Lisa says her patented response. She goes, this is just how I talk. Maybe you heard me screaming at the top of my lungs, but that's just how I talk to all of my friends.
Yeah, and then Seth, because you know him and love him, he goes, does anyone else, when they eat asparagus, their piss smell?
And Todd comes back and he starts laughing. He goes, yes, that's happened to me. And then everyone else laughs. And I'll give Seth credit. He completely diffused a situation. I gave Seth 1 full point of, like, that was a good thing you did. And then I removed all 5 points from him from his later performance at the dinner table.
Yes. Okay, then we check in at Mary's house in Salt Lake, and her son is still in bed with his wife, in quotes. She's eating, I couldn't even tell what the hell they were eating. Was it like a hamburger, or was it like a croissant
Donuts.
or a donut?
I think it was a cronut. Let's meet in the middle. I think it was some sort of pastry. And when you talk about how tired Todd is, I mean, he has nothing on Robert and his wife. These are 2 sleepy people in bed. Right?
Yeah, they give him the messy room cut where they're just like showing every surface of his room, which honestly I was like, could be worse.
Yeah, no. I looked at 2. I was like, there's a couple figurines. There's like a thing from Mario Kart. There's a bunch of affirmations. Did you see that? One of them says, "Wake up happy. My mommy angel loves you so much."
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and so it was, and he admits, he goes, "We just cleaned up right before you got here." So Mary
Right.
caught them post cleanup.
Which I'm like, imagine whatever the hell they're doing in there, and like his mom comes in with a full ass crew, and
I
they
know.
just like sit there. Like,
She
I
goes-
want to see like a photo or a video of the view of everyone standing in the room just looking at them. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, for the first time, the camera people don't want to enter a room to film a scene. She goes, "What am I interrupting an eating session in here?"
Yeah, she's like, what are your plans for the week? It really reminded me of like being in high school and my parents thinking I was like a piece of shit who like didn't do anything. And they'd be like, what are you going to do today? Like,
Yeah,
"Gonna
totally.
Look for a job.
Totally. But I'm thinking, you know, if I didn't go to college, being from age 20 to 25 doing this.
Yeah. It's kind
sounds.
of brutal.
Oh, no, sorry.
Opposite?
I was going to say I could do some of this. Sleeping, eating. You know what I mean? I had to jump off my ass and, start doing stuff. I don't know. I guess maybe because I'm just tired. So what they were doing, that sleepy vibe looks kind of good to me. But Mary then she says what we're all thinking. She goes, I think something is wrong with Robert Jr.
Yeah, it's taking her much too long to realize this. When she asked them their plans, he goes, I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, he had no plans. I would have said something. I would have said, go to the movies.
Yeah. I mean, You would expect, I mean, I don't know what they were doing 5 seconds before she walked in the room, but it was giving like ripping a bong behavior. Like Pineapple Express.
They go to open their mouth to talk to Mary, and a plume of huge bong smoke comes out. Yeah, it was giving that to me too. It's just, I guess, we're not talking about what this all really means because I don't want to until they tell me. I don't want to like assume, but there's something I think that Mary is catching.
Sure.
She's starting to realize. Then we get this Top Gun scene. The only reason I don't enjoy this is because, first of all, it's filler. Second of all, it was too on the nose. 3, it's really long. Did I already say it's been too long since then? And
they
then
couldn't afford the Highway to the Danger Zone song select.
I wanted Highway to the Danger Zone because that's the only way you can have that scene. And also, Vanderpump Rules did this when they went to the beach, and that was like 3 months after Top Gun. This is like a year, right?
Yeah. It's
a year and a
old.
half.
I'm like, we're on to Mission Impossible now.
I know. We're all talking about the final reckoning.
Okay, so then we get this 10-year anniversary party, which kind of was a surprise to me. Like, there are other people getting invited to the house. It's not just the housewives. It's like a full party for other guests too.
Davey Hamilton, one of those race car drivers, I think.
Oh, is that who it was?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get a quick moment where Whitney doubles down saying she trusts her podcast source implicitly, which, we already know that that's not true. Although we got some comments saying that guy is holding back his receipts.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Up and at him. I know he's got him. He's just got to release them. When you see that proof he's got, we are going to be we're going to be so embarrassed. He was definitely telling the truth. So yeah, I remember that. And then we get a little bit of that necklace. I think this happens right around here, right? Where we get the reveal of the $4 million necklace that Bronwyn gets to wear during this dinner.
Yeah.
That means you rented it? Because
I think so.
Oh,
They're not that rich.
Todd?
A $4 million necklace.
I think he's got like $250 million.
Well, their house is shitty then. Sorry.
Really? No.
Like
That's
shit.
just the piece of shit house that they bought because Bronwyn's for her to be on the show.
Okay. I'll reserve my judgment. I just don't believe that they bought that.
All right. Well, let's add, Little Turtle Cuties or Villa Rosa VIPs, do you think the Todd father bestowed that upon Bronwyn, or was it just rented for this trip?
Yeah. He
right?
also shit on Vita Tequila. He's like, oh, these people over here own a tequila company, a mediocre tequila company.
Lisa and John are going to go scorched earth on Todd. He will never live that down in his life. I
hope
like
Todd's at the reunion. That would be great.
That would be so awesome. Todd got first chair, and he goes, "When is this thing gonna end? I gotta go. I'm really tired."
Yeah, he's like, I need my CPAP machine. Where is it?
Did you see that they were trying to spell Brat Summer with those big letters?
RT ban.
and then I think someone goes, "What the hell does RT band mean?" And he goes, "Come on, it means Richard, Todd, Bronwyn, Allison,
Newport." I think.
Oh right, Newport. It's like duh.
RT ban.
RT. It should have said like TB10.
Right. I know. I was like, that's not a very good, whatever you call that
Acronym. Or
yeah.
Do you think they brought a bunch of letters and maybe the lights didn't work or something, so they had to go with
Scramble it around.
RT?
But yeah, this is where she makes that comment where she's like, because it's cold, she's like, it's miserable, but it's beautiful, kind of like our marriage, ha ha ha. And everyone's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a little bit of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I think she was like a little drunk and a little nervous, and she was letting some truthful things come out, and it made it really awkward. People were like looking around going, why the hell are you talking like that about Todd?
And then he gets out his black Amex and is like, here's the reason she's with me, folks. And everyone's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. And then at one point she goes like, I love Todd, he's just such the life of the party. And she touches him, and Todd is literally about to fall asleep in his arms.
Okay, so now we get the unavoidable sex game, or it's, I guess, the newlywed game, but it turns into the sex game that Angie brings, and she's like, "Oops, sorry, I didn't know all these other schmoes were gonna be here. I only brought like 5 of them."
Davey Hamilton doesn't get one. But yeah, you're exactly right. You watch this game progress from maybe a game that people play to a total producer puppet, producer driven sex questions game where it goes from a newlywed question, sex question, to then who do you hate the most at this table, and how will it create drama when you say that?
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, was it I know you sent me a text.
Yeah.
I certainly wrote down this part.
It's funny. So they go. Okay, let's say who likes to have sex and which way they want to do it. And Lisa goes, "This is private. I don't want to talk about this." And then John Barlow, he writes his favorite position. He goes, "Lisa on top." And then Lisa's like, "Oh my God, what the hell is John doing?" And then John gets this really horny look in his eyes and he goes, "I forgot to add one word." He goes, "Bouncing." So his answer to his favorite sex position is Lisa on top bouncing.
Disgusting.
And then
What the hell?
he was you could tell his face was like so red. He was getting so horny at the table. And then Whitney, it kept getting better. It was so funny. It was like everybody else defer or demurred or whatever they said.
Yeah.
I don't want to say. They go, all of them.
Yeah.
My Todd father likes everything about me. And then Whitney goes, cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, blowjob. And then Justin goes, "Whoa, it's getting a little too personal." That means that's actually what Whitney and Justin do, and that's Justin's favorite position.
I mean, not shocking that they are the most open there.
Yeah.
And then we get to Justin and Lisa apologize to each other. Like, he's like, "I was probably a little too fired up." She says, "I'm sorry I put you in that position." I'm like, all right, let's be done there. That felt fine. And then Meredith is like, "Well, on that note, I appreciated the conversation we had, Sean, but you actually didn't apologize, and I left that conversation dissatisfied." And he's like, "That pisses me off because I left it thinking we were good." And here they do deploy the clip from the podcast, which they didn't do last time, which, I mean, it does. He did say what she says he said.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. After Meredith made a huge mistake by alluding to rumors that Sean was gay, which, horrible, offensive, the lowest hanging fruit. We talked about this last year. It's like, it was awful that Meredith alluded to this. He said that she sort of deflected by talking about all of the Brooks Marks, like, activist stuff, I guess, that she does. He didn't specifically say the son, but that she just deflected from doing a sort of, someone could accuse that of being like a homophobic thing. Yeah. And he's saying that you kind of use your activist work to deflect away from the fact that you really did accuse me of something really shitty. And I think that there's a grain of truth in that for Sean. Sure. And the way he stays true to what he originally said and how he feels, you could tell Meredith completely loses all steam here and wants bygones to be bygones pretty quickly. And then before that, I have to note, Sean, we already had Justin scream and say the F word at Lisa and step towards her. Sean has sort of a chaotic moment at the table where Whitney is saying, "Meredith, where's the proof? What did Sean actually say?" Because Meredith can't say exactly what Sean said. And then Seth pulls out his phone and he looks at Whitney and he goes, "Proof, biatch!" And it sounds like he screamed in front of everyone at the table, and everyone is so taken aback. And it seems like Seth's register, he couldn't calibrate it properly because he was maybe drunk, so it seemed really out of place and weird and awkward.
Yeah, like he was joking, but then he wasn't. And Whitney was like, "Jesus." And then Angie's like, "Well, that was like a clickbait headline, so what was the actual statement or whatever?" And Sean just explains it like you just said, like, the gay rumor didn't land the way you wanted it to, so she basically used her allyship to be like, "I'm protected from any being accused of being homophobic.
Oh yeah,
you know?
you explained it so much better than me. How did Whitney and Lisa? How did they get out of their scuffle? Was that before this at the table?
Well, there was the Justin and Lisa. But
Oh, okay.
is that the same?
Right. Yeah. Justin and Lisa. But I feel like I don't know. I think this entire episode, Whitney is losing her also fuel to blame Lisa for this. So when they say like, who's the worst person at the table? Who do you absolutely hate at the table? Whitney says Meredith. Which is like, what are you talking about? The last 5 episodes, you've been completely enraged at Lisa, accusing her of ruining your business. But then now all of a sudden, there's no rationale for it. You say that Meredith is the one you hate the most. It feels like she knows the Alibaba scandal is slipping through her fingers, so she's ready for it to be over.
Right. And then for some reason, I guess Angie doesn't know the tea on Bronwyn's daughter's grandparents, because she's like, let's change the subject to something nicer. Like, so I hear that your daughter's finally going to reunite with her grandparents. And Todd's like, no, not going to happen. Like, fuck you. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it. Not appropriate.
He goes, that's even worse than what the hell the cowgirl stuff that you were all talking about before. And then Bronwyn, this was kind of sweet. She sticks up for Lisa. She goes, Lisa kind of didn't know everything that was going on. And it started out as like a surprise. And it was kind of sweet, but not everything sweet can end with a happy ending. So it's kind of like Lisa, like this huge thing happened and Lisa tried to handle it well and also thought it maybe be like great for the show or whatever. But then once it got to Todd's like, you're not fucking ever putting that on the show. Never talk about it again. And Bronwyn's like, oh shit. So Lisa didn't know what kind of a hornet's nest she was stirring up.
Yeah, he's like, it's over, it's done, it's gonna piss me off, so just stop it right now. And she's like, Bronwyn says she was embarrassed by that. So you can tell that she kind of maybe hates him a little bit, which maybe we'll hear about more next time. And then they show a flashback, like more happens at night that we don't see, but there's like a drone show. They play pool. All the women have a wonderful time in the hot tub, like saying that they love each other. So.
Yeah, and also it was kind of like like Angie was like hanging out with Lisa, like really close, and like Whitney was giving a toast, being like, "This is just how it is. We fight, but then we come back together." And I was just like, I don't know, I don't know how all of these issues got resolved, especially like Angie and Lisa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, but you're right. Then they show a little bit of that fun, and then they go to this race event, and I don't know if anything worth even mentioning happens at this event. It's kind of just Megan said, she was like, I think Bronwyn wanted to pull out all of the stops with her first trip. So you get the $4 million necklace, you invite Davey Hamilton to your party, you go to an event where you get to meet Joseph, the race car driver. It was just like, look at Bravo, what I offer to you. Right. You know what I mean? I bought
it's so niche that I'm like, that literally means less than nothing to me, but I'm sure to certain people that's very cool. It was like the Vanderpump Rules season 5 NASCAR birthday where they're like, we have like on the ground access. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was like, sign my hair curler. What was that? Sign my straightener. Okay, well, I can get us back out of that. So that nothing happens, and then Bronwyn even has to shut down a conversation with Lisa because she's like, there's a car racing right by me. I can't talk to you. So then Todd, then Seth comes back to the house. This is like later, and Seth goes, I delayed my flight, but I have to leave. So Angie and Sean, I'm saying goodbye to you. He goes, I am going to Ohio, the great Columbus. And then I loved what Angie said back. It was amazing. She goes, 1492, the day Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And Seth loves it. He's like, whoa, that is so funny. I'm so glad I brought up Columbus to you.
He's not even Greek, and she knows that.
Oh, right. And then they kind of talk about Seth's outburst because Whitney and Justin come over, and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? And Angie goes, we were just talking about how kind of weird when Seth said biatches to us.
Yeah.
And then Sean goes, when he said biatches that he meant bitches, right?
coded language.
Right.
And then they sort of they have a little moment with Meredith and Seth where I'm just like, I don't know what to make of you guys, but you'll probably get divorced.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not looking good for Meredith and Seth. It's not a relationship that I think anyone roots for. We know they're hanging by a thread. They don't show a lot of love. I would never want to be the person that says, like, this is like a loveless couple, but I don't see a lot of fun times there. It's like they seem to really dislike each other, and they don't spend a lot of time together. So, yeah, and also, again, I don't think Meredith is bringing her best this season, I'll just say.
Yeah, for sure. Low energy. Then we get the delayed Bronwyn and Lisa conversation they couldn't have at the racetrack. Lisa is, I don't know if this is intentional, but she's fully wearing the Angie K iconic sunglasses. Like and Angie's wearing some too. So I'm like, you stole Angie's look. That's Angie's thing.
I didn't notice that. How big were they?
Huge.
Oh my God. Lisa did that?
Yeah.
Wow, Lisa. Wow, I'll have to think about that. And then they kind of talk again, like you said, they rehash this Heather conversation. It's like, you both need to see the footage or something, or Lisa needs to see the footage. Like, there's just two interpretations. Lisa's basically saying, I can't discount Heather's feelings, and I don't deny that maybe you were two-faced in the past. And Bronwyn seems like once she got on this show, she feels like she's not defended by her true friend, like we've talked about. And she's like, I feel needy with you. I feel like I'm begging for you to say that I'm a good person or that you don't think I'm two-faced. And then they hug, and it's sweet for the moment. But then we find out that Bronwyn did something absolutely awful. They're packing the next morning, and Angie goes, how the hell are me and Sean getting home? And
how
Bronwyn
did
goes,
no one know how they were getting home is what
production. You know, they are so used to production just paying for everything. And I think this trip was an extra Bronwyn trip. Because didn't they already go? Did they already go somewhere? They went to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Most seasons only have a national trip and an international trip. I think Bronwyn was just like, I'm going to pay out of my ass and Todd's ass to go to Palm Springs and go for my 10-year anniversary. You guys will love to film it, right? And they said, yes, we will. So Bronwyn, instead of production, was handling how they all got back. And that's why this massive problem happened. Lisa's used to production paying for first class for all of them.
I see. Also, while they were packing, Todd does pack his CPAP machine, as every grumpy old man must have.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's like, do you have your breathing machine? And he's like, right here.
Those allow you to breathe at night?
Yeah, it's like for sleep apnea. Both my parents have one.
Wow. I mean, man.
He's so grouchy. They're like, will you ever do a trip like this again? And he goes, I won't ever do it again.
He goes, absolutely not. And he goes, and also Lisa was horrible to bring up the stuff with Gwen.
Oh, right.
You remember? He added that. He added that. Right? He added that at some point. He doesn't like that Lisa brought this on camera, the Gwen stuff with the grandparents.
He's very sensitive about it. But Lisa is absolutely panicked. She finds out she's seat 17C. She's like, maybe we should just fly to LA instead and figure it out. I think they're Delta people too, because he was like, Comfort Plus is sold out, which I'm like, she would even do Comfort Plus. I mean, when you asked earlier what is worth it, I think Comfort Plus is the perfect medium. It's perfect.
Yeah, they won't even let me go near that. When they say 17C, Lisa didn't even know that numbers go up that high on planes.
Yeah. And Bronwyn's like, I didn't know that this was the kind of brat summer we were going to have.
And I go, oh my God. Bronwyn did her confessionals during Brat Summer from
Apparently so.
June to September of this year.
Yeah. She also at one point says it's a 65-minute flight, but then later she says a couple times that it's a 47-minute flight.
Well,
but either way, it's as short as a flight can be. That's like flying to Vegas. And yeah, they like half the time don't even do drink service because they're like, we're literally going to take down immediately.
Yeah. John goes, do you really want to prolong our trip so that you can have a bigger seat? And Lisa says yes.
I mean, yeah, you would rather than just sit in a chair for 1 hour in the sky and land at home and go like into your bedroom. You would rather fly to a different airport or drive like 2+ hours to a different airport and then take a flight from there and sit in a slightly better seat. And that, like, I'm just so stupid.
Yeah, John goes a good option. He goes, "Can you just close your eyes and envision that you're in a bigger seat?"
Yeah. And
But that is,
everyone is going to be on the plane with you, like all of your friends.
yeah. Complain about it later. I don't get it, but I'm not even close to Lisa. I can't even imagine that this is a reality of never sitting in coach. It's kind of, it's interesting, and we wouldn't have gotten this moment had production, booked the trip to all of their specifications. But I kind of get why Bronwyn, if she was already sort of on the fence about Lisa and doesn't like that she won't not call her two-faced, to then see Lisa have this full-blown, not the right kind of brat summer about coach. This is going to fuel some Bronwyn fire against Lisa.
Well, if we're going to question how much money Todd has, then why didn't they take a PJ back?
It's so true. I bet Todd is lying about how much money he has.
I want to know. Run the numbers.
Yep. So anything else to say or note or add or think about?
The mid-season trailer looks really good. They're going to go to Mexico. I'm interested in this Todd shit.
Yeah. He's going, stop it, Bronwyn.
Yeah. What else was teased there?
Someone has an irreconcilable relationship. I think it's going to be Bronwyn and Lisa. There's things that Heather alluded to on Watch What Happens Live where she's like, just you wait. You're going to see how shitty Bronwyn is. Okay. And I think that Lisa and Whitney's relationship is unsalvageable. But what else? It was a Mexico trip.
Isn't there something about someone recording something?
Oh, Brittany maybe dropped a recording device in Meredith's room.
Oh, God. Well, it looked fun and juicy, so looking forward to that. SLC remains, top tier.
It's so good. I mean, this season has been amazing. And just a programming note for Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs. Amy is going on a trip, which would take the place of our Thursday recording. So we're not going to talk about OC Reunion Part 2 this week. We are going to jam-pack the next episode of Turtle Time next week with all of this shit. Your head is going to be spinning next week when you see what the hell we pack in.
Beverly Hills is also back next week, so
yeah,
we'll see how much we can fit in. Maybe RHONY gets the boot next week since it deserves nothing, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's true. We could spend a little less time talking about RHONY for sure. But no matter what, as is the Turtle Time mission, we talk about it all. So we'll never leave you hanging about anything. And then I'll just say, if you said, whoa, I like that episode of Turtle Time. Is there any other option for getting more content just like that? Yes. If you go to the Turtle Time Patreon, you got to go there, and you pay $5 a month, you become a Villa Rosa VIP, and I swear there are over 90 episodes where Amy and I are recapping Vanderpump Rules from the very beginning, from episode 1, season 1, episode 1, all the way to season 5, episode 17, right?
Yep.
We are in the thick of it right now. We are about to get to Katie and Tom's wedding at the end of season 5. We just got done with that joint bachelorette party. We talk about it. Each episode is about an hour long. So there is the most massive archive in history of Vanderpump Rules content for $5 a month. So that's the only thing I can say to sell it.
Yes, it's jolly good fun. If you enjoy us, rate and review. Watch on YouTube. I plugged this last week, but as I said before, the holidays are coming up and we have very fun Bravo merch that I personally would like to receive. So check us out on Etsy, where it's linked in our bios and everything. But
it's not just shit that says Turtle Time on it or like turtles holding hands. It's like there's great stuff there. Craig Conover fan shirt, Dorinda fan shirt. There's just so much fun stuff. So if you have a Bravo fanatic in your life and you want to surprise them with a gift under their Christmas tree, go to the Turtle Time merch store and check it out.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I will bid you adieu. I will be in NYC till next week, and then we'll talk again.
All right. Do you think you'll see Rebecca Minkoff?
Maybe. on Broadway, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Have a wonderful trip, and Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs will be back next week. Goodbye.